Previously, Mash has been born without magic, which has been problematic since it is the most important thing in his society. Those who have magic abilities have a mark on their face, while those without the mark are simply eliminated from society. While having a hard time, Bernadette finds Mash abandoned and decides to raise him. He trains Mash over the years with weight training, and now Mash is older. He's a physical specimen. One day, the magic police catch word of Mash's existence and launch an attack on him and his dad. But he manages to defeat them without using any magic, which leaves everyone speechless. The leader of the special unit named Brad promises that they will continue to hunt him down. But he proposes that if Mash becomes the best student in magic school, he will not report him, as it would mean that society has accepted him as one of their own. The story continues at the Magic Academy, which is said to be a highly prestigious school that produces people to be pillars of society. The students gather at the end of the fields for the notoriously difficult entrance examination. Less than 3% of applicants who apply are accepted, meaning only those with superior magical power are allowed access to the school's facilities. Mash stands there with zero magical power, looking to make a splash while the students get ready for their tests. Lucky decides to get an early look at this year's applicants. He states that a couple of the applicants are from higher society, which brings happiness to him given the prestige of the school, but he's distracted by a clanging sound that begins to annoy him. Lucky looks around to find the culprit, and he's frozen in shock to see Mash lifting such ridiculous weight with ease. He's also confused that someone would be pumping iron just when they're just about to start the exam. Lakshi calms himself down and immediately labels Mash as a lost cause. He looks over again and is shocked that he's doing the iconic invisible chair while reading a fitness book. Lakshi is a little bit offended that he's not reading a magic book. He even notices Ben and Brad looking the exact opposite of discreet as they try to blend in to keep an eye on Mash throughout the exam. His father is a little skeptical about how his son is going to pass their test without the use of magic, but the magic officer is confident that his scar will fool everyone as it's so accurately copied as the real one. All Mash has to do is pass the tests without causing a huge fuss. Luchi doesn't think much of it, but he doesn't expect him to go very far. Luchi's voice is projected across the grounds, welcoming everyone while Mash cluelessly eats his cream puff, wondering what kind of test they have up their sleeves. He appears elegantly with a burst of flames which impresses everyone. Luchi announces that he will be overseeing their examination today. The students give both intimidated and excited stares. They continue to hype him up, stating that despite his young age, he has already mastered many advanced spells. Luchi twitches with excitement, wanting them to praise him more and more. Mash destroys his hype by commenting on his lame entrance. That comment annoys Luchi, who makes the promise to fail him. He announces that the first examination will commence while seamlessly making the seats appear from the ground, while summoning paper and feathers for them to write with. The students are in awe as they have never seen this level of magic before. Mash acts like a break for all the hype when he points out that he could have just taken them to an already prepared room. This comment makes Lucky promise to end him for his transgression, as it's Mash's second time interrupting. However, he again brushes off Mash's comments because he believes Mash will not last long. The students take a seat at their places and are told that they have 30 minutes to complete the exam. They all flip their papers over and are surprised to see the questions moving around the page. Lucky reveals that he has spellbounded the papers with magic. So to the exam, they must disperse the enchantment and align all the questions. However, Bernadette is not confident in his son. Even Brad starts to second-guess himself. Meanwhile, Mash simply asks the letters to stop moving around the page, but nothing seems to happen. So he snaps his pen in frustration. The second time asking, the words get intimidated and quickly arrange themselves in order. His people can't believe what they are seeing. He takes his rearranged paper to Luchi to inspect and is pleasantly surprised that he managed to complete the task without any major hiccups. Mash continues to use his freakish physical capabilities to pass more of the tests, which leaves everyone in a state of disbelief. Lucy watches on, frustrated that a slacker like Mash is still succeeding. He even thinks of a way to eliminate him and quickly announces the next test. Luchi erects a maze around the students and gives them 30 minutes to reach the goal. Mash is starting to feel his confidence rise, but he's approached by Lemon, who wants to tag along with him, stating it would be more efficient. He sees the logic in her statement and agrees, and as they navigate, she falls into the majority of the traps, which makes him think twice about teaming up. While his guard is down, she stops him with a handcuff spell and reveals that she has been deceiving him. Her true aim is to keep him away from the end goal. She is shocked to see him break the cuffs so easily and leave, as he has his own reasons to reach the end. A giant monster asks her a riddle, but she's unable to answer because she's so terrified. She tries to attack it with her wand, but the Egyptian monster knocks it out of her hand and counters when her time is up. However, Mash comes to the rescue and knocks it out with his clean punch. She's baffled as to why he came back to save someone who just tried to stop him. Mash explains that he noticed that her reason was similar to his, so he felt sorry for her because of the delay. She expresses to him that they might not make it to the goal in time. The students who already made it out congregate, waiting for the time to run out. Lucky is confident that Mash will not make it given the limited time remaining. However, his face changes when they hear loud thuds approaching them, and everyone's jaw drops when they see that Mash has created a direct route by knocking the walls down. The examiner is especially surprised because the walls are over 1 meter thick and impenetrable to all known magic. Headmaster Wahlberg watches as the commotion unfolds, leaving him intrigued by MASH. All of the students begin to question the legitimacy of how the two finished the maze. This leads to them chanting that the duo should be expelled from the exam and be sent packing. MASH takes on all the criticism, but it leaves him saddened. So Lemon shouts at them to stop. She tells them it was her fault, and this prompts Lucci to tell her to shut up and threatens her for good measure. Lemon doesn't heed his warning and continues to confess that Lucci promised her a place at the school if she stopped MASH from getting to the goal, saying she only took the offer because her family is poor and she needs to help them. She embellished her encounter with MASH, stating that he asked for her hand in marriage. But the guy calmly corrects her, admits to his actions, and even admits the truth that he has a distaste for MASH. The examiner begins to talk down on them, releasing magic energy as he asks if they want to challenge his decision. MASH dashes over to him and snaps his wand and tells the professor that he's gone too far. The rest of the students can't believe what he has just done. His guardians are also taken aback by his boldness before Lucci can take further action. The headmaster stops him in his tracks with one shout. He announces the final interviews will now commence from this point onwards. Headmaster Wahlberg claims he's taking charge of the examination as Lucci is showing his bias. He asks Lucci to come to see him at his office. When the selection process has finished, he selects MASH as the one to be interviewed, and he appears in a dark room surrounded by officials. They trade greetings, and MASH expresses his gratitude to be allowed into the magic headquarters. They ask him a series of questions while the others look on unimpressed with his answers, but the headmaster is intrigued by MASH's differences. He wants to know why he decided to save the girl whilst knowing fully he does not have enough time to complete the maze. He simply explains to the old-timer how he feels, saying he would have regretted it if he didn't. The headmaster is amused with that answer and concludes that he must be the type who acts before thinking. MASH never considered that the wall might be stronger, nor did the idea of not being able to break the walls ever cross his mind. MASH believes that it had to be done even if it was inconsiderate. Wahlberg attributes his words to MASH as not understanding the ways of the world. Yet better Dumbledore explains that many creatures exist in the world that are far stronger than him. He wonders if he could keep the same logic and take the same course of action when he's faced with much larger problems. As the headmaster makes this statement, he uses himself as an example and releases a sinister aura before casting a threatening spell. Even the teachers are terrified. The spell begins to activate as the monster cranks down a blade tip towards a doll. MASH calmly wants to know what stands before him. Wahlberg explains that it is an ancient spell that transfers the soul of the target's most cherished people into the doll. Burndead suddenly collapses to the floor as his soul is transferred. If the knife were to stab into the doll, the person who cherished will never return to their body. MASH begins to punch the blade, trying to stop it. However, he cannot stop it and only damages his hand. The teachers watch with their jaws on the ground as MASH lodges his hands between the blade and the doll, which stops it. Even the headmaster is surprised. The young man says that Wahlberg can't maintain his spell forever, so it is turned into a test of endurance. The headmaster believes that the person's power can be used for positive or negative. This is why he emphasizes protecting the weak and regulating the strong. From his observation, Wahlberg feels like MASH is a human that possesses that capacity. He deactivates the spell and apologizes as the place is lit up with candles. The old wizard feels he was testing him. He has no sinister intentions of that nature. MASH accepts his apologies and answers his question as if he was to face the headmaster. The guy simply states that he would beat him down with his fists. Even the bootleg Dumbledore is shocked by that statement. The other teachers find his comment to be a highest form of disrespect, leaving them to scold him. The headmaster laughs again and welcomes him to the Easton Magic Academy by offering him a spot, saying MASH is already a legend in my eyes. After a short, while they begin class where they learn the lock-opening spell, which is the most basic of the teacher demonstrations, but MASH just opens it with his bare hands instead. The tutor gets annoyed, reminding him that he's here to learn magic. She is shocked when MASH explains that he has below-average magic skills. Finn sits next to him and already sees MASH as a troublemaker, knowing he must keep his distance. Meanwhile, a group of seniors peek into the class with a sinister look as they smile. Later on, Finn looks for his dorm, hoping that he's not paired with MASH. He reaches his place of stay and is surprised that there is no door. He turns and sees he is in fact roommates with MASH, who is already holding the door. This is not his ideal situation. Nevertheless, the two introduce themselves and MASH warns him that he might cause trouble because he doesn't understand how things work yet. He changes into his workout gear and begins to show off his muscles, which Finn finds strange. Now that the ice is broken, he asks how he can become the Divine Visionary. Finn explains that one has to collect gold coins by excelling in tests, coursework, extracurricular activities. Silver and bronze are also awarded for subpar performances, no matter how many gold coins one collects. If grades are not kept up, one will be suspended. After hearing this, MASH holds his head in despair, but he quickly snaps himself out of that mindset and offers Finn a cream puff to cement their friendship. That brings the episode to an end. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe for daily uploads.